Now, for multiplying fractions, I think you'll like it a lot better because to multiply fractions, all you have to do is simply multiply the numerator by the numerator, denominator with the denominator. So if you look at number 1, we have negative 5/8 multiplied by 2/6. So all you have to do is multiply straight across. Negative 5 times 2, negative just goes to one of the numbers. So either it goes with the 5 or the 8. Take your choice. Negative 5 times 2 is 10, negative 10. Multiply the denominator. 8 times 6 is 48. So we have the fraction negative 10 over 48. However, for a fraction, you always want to put it in the simplest form. Right now, if you look at the negative 10 and 48, they have factors in common. So that goes back into, the first section where we talked about the greatest common factor. We want to divide out the greatest common factor. So let's see, what do they have in common? I know there's a 2 in common. So let's divide out a 2 to simplify this fraction. So I'll divide out the 2. So negative 10 divided by 2 would be negative 5. 48 divided by 2 is 24. Now we see that this number has nothing else in common. So we know that our answer would be, in simplest term, would be negative 5 over 24. Now, we could have done this in the beginning. If you look at this problem, negative 5/8 times 2/6, we can simplify it before we multiply. And simplifying the problem before we multiply straight across is very helpful, especially if our problem it deals with big numbers. So in this case, if you look at this problem, there are a couple of numbers that we can reduce. You can either reduce 2 and 6, or you can reduce 2 and 8. As long as one number is the numerator, one number is the denominator, we can reduce it. So let's say I pick 2 and 8. So 2 can go into 8 4 times. 2 goes into 2 1 time. And that's it. So now we're multiplying negative 5 with 1, which is negative 5. 4 times 6, which is 24. See how it yields the same answer that we got from what we got previously? It's the same exact answer. It's just instead of multiplying straight across and then simplify, we simplify it before we multiply straight across. Again, take your pick, whichever one you feel more comfortable, easier, whichever method you want to use first. Now, if you look at the next one, we have a whole number, negative 9, multiplied with negative 2/3. Again, in order for us to multiply fractions, we need to multiply the numerator across, denominator across. Right now, we have negative 9. Is that the numerator or the denominator? That's the numerator, because we could put any whole number over 1. So basically, we're trying to multiply negative 9 with negative 2, then 1 with 3. You could do that. These numbers aren't that bad. But let's say I want to simplify before I do it. So let's simplify. We see that 9 and 3 has in common. I could reduce the 9 to 3 by 3. So 3 goes into it 1 time. And 3 goes into 9 3 times. So essentially, what I'm multiplying now is negative 3 with negative 2. So that would make it positive 6. 1 times 1 is 1. Therefore, my answer simply is 6.